You know, Laura, you're getting weirder and weirder every day. Last week and the week before that, you kept telling me how you couldn't wait to quit your job at the disco. Now all of a sudden you want to go back to work again.
So?
So? Well, I just don't understand this shift in attitude all of a sudden. You know, I don't think you're making any progress at all.
What are you talking about? I've had a couple of days off and I found out that I miss working. What's such a big deal about that? You know, it's kind of boring here if you want to know the truth.
Boring?
Not everyone's cut out to be a housewife.
Well, now how would you know that? You haven't been one long enough to find out.
Could you just stop cross-examining my motives all the time? I mean, if I want to go to the store and buy a pound of coffee, you want to know what's really behind it. I feel like an inmate here sometimes.
Laura, now come on. Now, I have never made you feel that way.
If you want to know the absolute truth, Scotty, I will tell you. Half the time, I'm only playing a part that I think you want me to play. I pretend as if I'm happy and I'm up and I've gotten over the rape because you've decided that I should be over it by now, and you keep insisting on it.
Laura, no, wait a minute. I've never said anything of the kind.
Yes, you do, Scotty. But I'm not over it, and working takes my mind off of it.
Well, Laura, I didn't know that you felt this way.
Well, I'm telling you now.
Well, I think you and I ought to get some kind of outside help here.
We don't need anything of the kind. I'd be fine if you just try to understand my feelings, and if you quit crowding me all the time. I can't stand it anymore.
These aren't very fresh. I bought them yesterday. I wasn't really expecting any company.
Oh, they'll be fine, I'm sure. I was wondering about Luke and Bobby when they were young. What kind of childhood they had. Luke never seems to talk about it.
Well, it wasn't a very special growing up. They were very poor, and that leaves a pretty bad mark. And their father split and deserted them.
Did he really? I had no idea. Is their mother still alive?
No. She got very sick and was afraid to go to the hospital. Dad's was dead drunk and split with his bottle. The children were too little. They didn't know what to do. She died before anybody got them help.
That must have been terrible for them.
I took them in and brought them up as best I could. I don't know what kind of job I did, but I tried.
That explains a lot. Why Luke is so anxious to get ahead in the world.
I'll tell you one thing he won't be, a bum like his old man.
I appreciate your telling me this, Ruby. It helps me understand him better.
I don't know who that could be. Excuse me. Bobby!
Hi, Ruby.
Hi, darling. Jennifer Smith is here.
Hello, Bobby.
Jennifer, hi. We were just having a cup of coffee. Why don't you come on in and join us?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to be going. I have some errands to run. Thank you so much for the coffee and the donuts.
Well, it was my pleasure. You're welcome to come here anytime you'd like.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice to see you again, Bobby.
Yeah, you too.
Goodbye.
So long.
Ruby, what was she doing here?
Why shouldn't she be here? She can drop in anytime. She's a very nice girl.
Yes, Ruby, I'm sure she's a very nice girl. She also happens to be Frank Smith's daughter, and that makes her poison.
Well, I don't think you can blame her for the sins of her father. Besides which, I don't think she knows anything about that.
Ruby, that is not the point. The point is that we all seem to be getting deeper and deeper into Frank Smith's world all the time, and it's happening without her even realizing it.
Well, I don't think there's very much we can do about that now, can we?
Well, we better do something pretty fast, or I have a feeling we're going to be awfully sorry.
I have news for you. I think Jennifer is really interested in Luke.
I could have guessed that much.
Well, maybe it's not a bad thing.
I think it's terrible.
No, honey, I think it's rather a good thing. Maybe it'll take his mind off of Laura Baldwin. Because any more going-ons with that girl, it's going to be a disaster for all of us.
That one is for sure. Ruby, that girl causes trouble for everybody that she comes into contact with. And I am still absolutely convinced that if it hadn't been for her interference, Roy would still be alive today.
You can't prove that, honey. And if it weren't Roy dead, it would have been Luke. Would you prefer that?
No, Ruby, stop it. Of course not. But I do know that she's doing nothing but causing trouble for everybody. She's causing even more trouble right now.
I thought she quit her job at the disco.
She quit her job. She doesn't even have to be around to cause trouble.
Bobby, what are you trying to tell me?
Nothing. Skip it. Can I have one of your donuts?
better?
Yeah. I didn't mean to blow up at you that way.
Well, you said a lot of things, Laura, that surprised me.
I know. I haven't been very truthful with you since I quit my job at the disco.
You haven't?
No. I've just sort of been in an awful state lately. I've been frightened of everything. I feel like the world is closing in on me. You know, I feel trapped in this apartment, and yet I'm afraid to leave it.
Why?
I don't know. And I've been lying to you about my classes, too.
You have?
Mm-hmm. I've been cutting them, letting my schoolwork slip.
Now, why didn't you tell me about this before?
Because I was afraid that you would be angry.
Oh, come on, Laura, that's crazy. And look, if you're taking too many classes, why don't you just drop a few of them? Or maybe you ought to think about just dropping out of school completely.
No, Scotty, I don't want to do that, because if I do, I might never go back again. Somehow, I feel that's where I'm headed anyway. Just dropping out of life entirely. But, Scotty, I can't hide away in this apartment for the rest of my life, can I?
Laura, I never knew that you felt this way. I mean, how would I know if you never talked to me?
I'm sorry.
Damn it, now I've got to get going. I gotta run. I gotta get back to work.
But you haven't even eaten yet.
I know I don't have time. There's some stuff I have to take care of. But listen, I'm gonna do a lot of heavy thinking about this. And if I'm crowding you, I promise that I won't do that anymore, okay?
Thank you.
The only thing is, I do not want you going back to work at the disco. Because that is where all of your problems started. Whether you want to admit that or not, that's what I feel. Now, do you think you maybe want to talk to Rick and Leslie about this before you do anything?
No. My parents have enough problems of their own these days, and I don't want to do anything to add to them.